All council members attend the NRACA Youth Leadership Conference and the NRACA annual meeting.
That's fine.
This year's Montana Council representative is Byle of Kalispell, who's sponsored by Flathead Electric Cooperative. Please give a warm welcome to Elsie.
Okay, so first I would like to clarify that my name is Elise. It's very hard to pronounce, so I understand the confusion. Well, as you all know, I was the Montana YLC, and so I just prepared a little speech to basically share what I learned from the experience that you guys provided me with. As a native-born Montanan, I love snow. In fact, one of the biggest shocks for me when I met some of the kids from the other states was that not only had they never been skiing, they had never even seen snow. I felt a renewed sense of pride in our amazing state when I considered that I can go skiing every weekend during winter. I love ski season. Whenever I can get away from homework or chores, I'm up at the mountain, lost in bliss or a blizzard, depending on the day. But it wasn't always like this. When I was little, I absolutely hated skiing. I usually ended my runs in a fit, kicking off my skis and sliding down the rest of the run on my snow pants. It wasn't until I was well into elementary school that I began to ski in earnest. You see, my school sponsors an annual ski trip for all of the middle school grades. My greatest fear was that I would get placed in the beginner group. I began to focus on my technique and my ability to get down the hill with both skis still on. As time went on, my determination to become a competent skier had changed into a love of skiing in general. By the time my class finally went up to the mountain, my work had paid off. I was placed in the advanced group, and I was absolutely thrilled. Not because I had avoided the novice group, but because I had created personal success. You might be asking yourself, where on earth is she going with this? Well, as many of you know, this summer I was given the incredible opportunity to visit our nation's capital, not once, but twice, thanks to the sponsorship of the electric co-ops in Montana. I spent time waltzing around the National Mall and burying myself in history. I toured the Smithsonian, the National Cathedral, the Capitol Building, Arlington. We saw them all. I met with our senators and our representatives. I spent time learning about our nation and its citizens. I spent an incredible week with fantastic kids and amazing chaperones from all around our great state. And for that, I'm thankful to Flathead Electric Co-op, not only for the chance to visit DC, but for the friendships I've formed as well. They have supported me in so many ways, and I cannot begin to thank them for the opportunities they presented me with. One of those opportunities was the YLC. The Youth Leadership Council, or YLC, is essentially a gathering of the best and brightest from around our nation. One representative from each state returns to DC in July to learn more about the NRACA, each other, and themselves. When I returned to the Capitol a month after my first trip, I was unprepared for what I was going to experience. From the moment I set foot in Reagan National Airport, I was surrounded by amazing people. I spent a week in the company of some of the most interesting and inspiring individuals. I met kids who had started volunteer organizations or who had just returned from China where they spent months feeding orphans. I met adults who spent every day improving the lives of those around them and who gladly sacrificed time and money to help others. I had known that Washington, D.C. was the political capital of America, but the NRACA showed me a side of government that is too often neglected. Through meetings with various leaders of this national cooperative, I learned about the community. I learned about creating success, not only for yourself, but for everyone around you. I learned about leadership and how it is important to be in front with a banner rather than behind with a whip. I learned not to mistake activity for achievement and to give 100% to everything that I do. I began to see the impact cooperatives have on the rural community. I heard stories about one-stoplight towns that exist only because this organization wanted to provide a service for the people and not for the profit. Even from just visiting the headquarters of the NRACA, I felt the immediate sense of warmth and welcome that is completely foreign to all other parts of DC. I went to Washington, DC These are beliefs like democracy, cooperation, and doing what is best for your community. It was an incredible relief for me to visit with people who are not only idealists like myself, but who have actually worked to make their beliefs a reality. Within the members and future members of the NRECA, I found renewed hope in the people around me, in an organization that functions the way I believe a government should. I spent a week learning from the accomplishments of others, and I came home inspired. It was like when I was learning to ski. At first, I tried to be a good skier just to avoid failure, but as I progressed, I wanted to ski because I had learned how to be successful instead of just adequate. And that is what I learned from my trip to Washington, D.C. I discovered that every day I am charged with the task of being the best I can be, not because I'm afraid of failure, but because I know I can achieve success. I do not strive to be a leader because I fear doing poorly if I don't give it my all. I strive to be a leader because I have seen what an effect great leadership can have, and I believe that I can do great things with the help of those around me. During my time in D.C., I was inspired to be a better student, a better citizen, and a better person. There's no way to fully express gratitude for a gift with that huge of an impact, a gift that keeps on giving. I want to thank everyone here for investing in me, for gifting me with their time, their money, and their wisdom. I'll do my best to see that you get a good return on your investment. Thank you.